Hey guys, back in the basement again. Guys, I seen this because a fellow content creator sent it to me and he said, man, this would be a great topic to talk about. And I completely agree with him. Shout out to my man Rock for sending me this clip. I said, man, I got to do some research on this. And the crazy thing about it, this story is so familiar. And the reason why it's so familiar, because we had one happen in the same state of Florida where a young man lost their life. With that being said, let's cut to this video and check.
In Miami, two brothers gunned down in an apartment building, and tonight we were learning more details on what led up to the fatal gunfire. According to police, these two brothers and their sister's boyfriend got into some sort of fight altercation before this double shooting. Those two men are dead, and that suspect is in jail. The two brothers, Jaheim and Gianni Pierre, were shot and killed May 2nd. Dispatch says a caller reported 6 shots fired and a woman reporting her brother was shot.
Miami, I made contact with a female said that her brother shot on the second floor.
An arrest form says while detectives were investigating, a man approached and said, quote, "I'm the one. I have the firearm." Police arrested 31-year-old Antwan Carter, who they say had a gun in his pocket. The report says CCTV footage shows Carter yelling and banging on an apartment door. When it opens, quote, Carter then charged into the apartment as he reached into his front right pocket. Immediately after, several gunshots were heard.
So guys, as y'all seen on this video about what happened. So let me read some clippings from the article. A suspect accused of fatally shooting his girlfriend's brothers in Liberty City was arrested on Saturday, authorities said. Antwan Carter, 31, was charged with first-degree murder. During his court appearance on Monday, a judge denied Carter's bond. According to the authorities, officers arrived at the apartment at 5329 Northwestern 17th Street, where they found two males suffering from gunshot wounds. An arrest report said one of them, 23-year-old Jaheim, was pronounced deleted, while 28-year-old Gemini was taken to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Back at the apartment, Carter was pacing back and forth and told officer, "I'm the one. I have the firearm." The report said officers then found the 9mm Glock firearm in his right pocket and was detained. After Carter was placed in a cruiser, a woman came to the officer with her feet and clothes covered with blood and said her brothers were the ones who were shot, the report said. During this investigation, during this investigation, the officers looked at the surveillance video that showed Carter leaving the apartment, walking to his car, grabbing an unknown object and putting it in his right pocket. He was then seen going back to the building and banging on the door, yelling for someone to open it. When the door was open, Carter ran into the apartment, reached into his front right pocket, and several gunshots was heard, as well as a woman screaming and running out, the report said. Carter was the one seen leaving the apartment. Officers interviewed the woman who told them she was Carter's girlfriend and that she was in the apartment with him when her brothers came over, the report said. The woman said her brothers was protective because there had been moments of domestic violence between her and Carter. At one point, the report said Jaheim and Carter got into an argument that quickly turned physical between them and Gemini. And the woman left the apartment to ask a neighbor to call the police. When she returned to the apartment, Carter was gone, and she locked. When she returned to the apartment, Carter was gone, and she locked the door. The woman then heard somebody banging on the door and told her brothers not to open in the report. Jaheim then opened the door, and Carter started firing shots. Gemini, the reporter said, was sitting on the couch when he was shot. Jaheim ran towards his sister for cover and was shot and collapsed on top of his sister. Carter then sat at the edge of the bed and said, "See what you made me do." The woman then left the apartment. Detectives then interviewed Carter, who told them he was in the apartment with his girlfriend when the brothers arrived and the scuffle began. The report said Carter said he left the apartment to put the candies in his car and to get some fresh air. When he came back to the apartment to get his keys and wallet, he saw the brothers with their fists in the air ready to fight. Carter, the report said, then pulled out his pistol and shot the brothers several times. A search of the apartment showed a pool of blood next to the couch where Gemini was found, and a pool of blood in a closet where Gemini was found, the report said. Several spent casings were also found throughout the apartment. Carter was then arrested and charged. If found guilty, Carter could be facing the death penalty. I'm sorry. So the reason why I'm saying this is so close to another story is because of this. If we all remember, back in April 2021, Travis Rudolph, former NFL player as well as former college football player at Florida State, had a situation with his girlfriend's brothers. You know what I'm saying? And following an argument with his girlfriend, Rudolph was confronted at his Florida home by 4 men, including his girlfriend's brother. Same type of situation, a domestic situation which turned bad, and unfortunately, family members lost their life in this situation. Now, I don't know if the situation is going to end up the same way, because Rudolph was found not guilty, right? He was not guilty for what they was trying to charge him. They deemed it was self-defense, fearing for that man's life. He was attacked. He was at his home in a peaceful place, and he was attacked. Why? Because his girlfriend had an issue with him. And so what did she do? She called her brothers and some of his friends. And she knows her brother's a crash dummy. He went over, I guess, to defend his sister's name. And that man ended up not going home. That man ended up losing his life because he's a crash dummy, and he acted overly emotional, and he believed everything his sister said. Well, guys, this could be the same type of situation. I'm not saying it is, but it could be. We know dudes tend to be crash dummies for some of the women in their family. Instead of thinking logically, instead of telling your sister, why don't you just call the police and get an EPO, emergency protective order, out on him? Stay away from him. No longer be with him. If you stay there, how about you come back home or stay with us? Or get you a hotel to get away from him. Do something other than what you did. And it's obvious what happened. There was another situation. She called her brothers. Her brother came over, and they was with the shits. The brothers was with the shits. Like he said, he came back, fist up in there, ready to bang it out. All the while, they think he was going to go for the shoulder, but it's 2-on-1. It wasn't going to be a fair fight. Y'all was planning on jumping this man. My man had other ideas. And his idea was to defend himself at any means necessary. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't blame this man for defending himself by any means necessary. If that's what you deem and you feel like you need to do, then this is what you got to do. It's just unfortunate for that to lose both the mother and the father, to lose both their sons on the same day. Why? Well, because your daughter, their sister, think the right thing to do is get him to come over and act a fool and crash out. They think the right thing to do was call the brothers, knowing they gonna take it left, instead of calling the authorities. Why? Because probably she didn't want to stitch. No stitching. Okay. But see, that mindset got you planning 2 funerals in your family. Now they had to go get a GoFundMe in order to bury your brothers, because more than likely the money ain't gonna be there in order to do such. They're gonna have to get some cash apps going, bucket shaking. They're gonna be selling chicken dinners and fish dinners at the church for the next 3 Sundays in order to pay for the services. And you know what the pastor gonna say when he's talking over the bodies? Boy, they were some good boys. I don't see how this happened to them. They were some good kids. Them sons, they were some good sons. All the while, they was doing other things. Guys, fellas, men, I'm talking to you on this situation. You can't be a crash out dummy for somebody other than yourself like this. If you know your sister's dealing with a volatile man, you need to do everything you can to get your sister away from that man. You need to say whatever you need to say to get your sister away and out of that situation. Going and dealing with it in the manner that y'all dealt with it doesn't, more than likely won't end well. And I'm sure this probably wasn't the first time you had to do it. But there's an old saying, comes thicker than blood. And unfortunately, your sister fell for it every time, and it cost her 2 brothers their life. With that being said, I'll catch you beautiful people on the next one. Right on.